All right, everyone, as a follow-up to my video, looks like it is these Vermetid snails. See all the strings on the rock now? Sorry, I just did a water change. Look at the big strings coming out of those little spikes. So the whole tank is covered in webbing. So that explains, I finally know why my corals died. Those are Vermetid snails and what looks like calcium spikes on my rocks. Tons of them. They're hard spikes. Now I know what they are. It's Vermetid snails. They're one of the worst things you can get in your aquarium. Okay, so that's why my corals died. What they do is, the water is so cloudy because that's part of what I'm doing to kill these things. They are little snails that never leave the tubing that they stay in. It's a calcium tube. They spin webs. I fed this tank and I blew all the detritus, this fish waste, and uneaten food off the rocks, and I just did a water change, right? And as soon as I did that, a couple of the forums that I read, they're right. These guys sense the food and the detritus and they start spinning their webs. These webs get everywhere. They're capturing the food and all the fish waste. They eat detritus, which is fish waste and uneaten food, all over the rocks, all the rocks. Now I know there's damn worms. I thought they were just like calcium spikes. So these webs, when they spin, they get caught up in the coral, and you know, corals are very sensitive. They don't like that stuff. Well, it's the webbing. Now I know how bad it is. I never noticed it before. Yeah, so why is this so cloudy? Well, I put some, in my last video I said I put some bumblebee snails in there. They move really slow, but supposedly they'll take their time and eat these snails. But also calcium carbonate. I just put 2 tablespoons mixed with salt water in the aquarium after I fed the fish and I did a water change. So basically I let all these webs come out. Look at this. Now, along with what food they're trying to get, these webs are also capturing the calcium carbonate, which is not, there's no nutrients in it. And supposedly the calcium carbonate will go into their stomachs and ruin their digestive system. So I'm gonna do this every day for a week. One guy said he did it for 2 months and he eradicated them. And then all these spikes will eventually fall off the rock. You can't see it here, but look at the previous video. You know what else calcium carbonate is really good for? Binding the uneaten food and really tiny particles that break down in your water that create nitrates. Really, really tiny ones. The calcium carbonate binds to it and makes it more of a solid, so your mechanical filtration and your skimmer can pull that stuff out of your water much easier. And that results in crystal clear water. So, you know, I'll be doing that once a month. Feeding the fish a little less and feeding the fish directly. Trying not to get anything in the water column. But you know what really made these webs start to spin? Is when I blew off the rock and all the dust, which is fish waste, looks like dust, and uneaten food just went into the water column. I'm sorry that this doesn't look the best, but at least you can see, look at this, all the strings. Those were not there. Just spikes about as thin as a toothpick. Those snails live in those thin spikes that I thought were just calcium spikes. They never come out, they just spin webs to get food. Well, I wish I knew what I could put in the water column that would poison them and be toxic. I've never had this in my tank before, as far as I know. Never seen this, never seen this. Now I know why my coral is having such a problem. Look at this, it's all over the rock. This was not there. Once they sensed all the food, all these cotton strings came out. That's their web. So calcium carbonate will be brought into their stomachs over the course of days. I'll drop a little food in the tank, just a tiny bit Once they sense it and the webbing comes out, dose in the calcium carbonate. So I'll keep you guys posted. This is really frustrating. I lost more than half my corals. Beautiful torches, a zoanthid colony, hammer coral, 2 hammer corals actually. I didn't know. I had no idea. Or how this stuff even got in because I quarantine. Hey, it only takes 1. I'm also going to get a UV because a UV will mess with reproductive things, you know, parasites and things. They release their sperm into the water. It'll kill it. That's how these things reproduce, by the way. Just wanted to give you guys an update. This really pisses me off. Now I know. Now I know. All right, I did the video this morning. I'm going to add this as an update.